voice of reason shine. Let the bias vanish for all time. God traces hidden, all unseen. You can ask him what it all means.
Greetings, YouTube. King Rollo coming at you live from inside SJW Ground Zero. Yes, that is what I call a college campus nowadays. I don't believe I'm too far off because, let's face it, if you graduate with anything but a STEM degree, chances are you got a degree in activism. I mean, cultural Marxism is not just hyperbole. It's not just something that you'll hear Baring talk about. It's not just something that you'll hear Sargon of Akkad take apart piece by piece. This is real shit. And I'm living it every day. So I kind of have a unique perspective as a communications major from being inside, like I said before, ground zero for SJWs. Make no mistake about it, folks. They are creating activists. There is a lot of misinformation and a lot of just pure, utter bullshit that is being pushed off as fact. And these kids are too young to even understand why it's wrong. And furthermore, they take it as gospel from these professors. As, you would expect from a teacher-student relationship. I mean, why would the professor lie to you about this shit, right? And that's basically the logic. So it takes root. It takes hold. And this is happening. And it does not bode well for our future. These kids believe that everything is an eternal power struggle. I got a couple of quick stories about a couple of the professors that I've had for various courses along the way. A couple semesters ago, I was taking my communication theories class, and the professor, I don't want to split hairs here. She was nice enough. And I didn't have a bad relationship with her, but there was a couple of times when the rhetoric just got out of control, and she seemed to talk in circles, and I don't think anybody but me caught it. And I called her out, didn't I? As I would, as a normal person should and would. Okay, so the story goes like this. She's a female professor, right? She's talking about standpoint theory. And if you know anything about standpoint theory, it's basically a communication theory where the more intersectionality that you have, the more oppressed you are, the more objective you have to see the oppression that's going on, and you have more ability to basically challenge the status quo, which I find that theory is complete bullshit. Go ahead and look into that. Standpoint theory. Google it. Read about what that crap is about. Because it's cultural Marxism any way you slice it. But anyway, back to the story. So she's going on and on about this glass ceiling stuff that is so prevalent in today's society, that women just can't get ahead, men are putting them down, men are doing this, men are doing that, we can never get ahead, nobody ever values our opinions, whatever, right? Okay, so here we go. Keep in mind that the department chair of the communications department at my school is a female, which, whatever, it is what it is. But let's face it, if you're the chair of the department, how can you not get ahead? Okay, so anyway, that's kind of an aside, but I don't want to get off the point too much. So she's going on and on about how she's oppressed, and she can't get ahead, and that nobody values her, and that it's tougher for women, and tougher for this, and tougher for that, and woe is me, and just talking a bunch of shit. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what is she talking about? Right? I mean, the department chair for a lot of the departments at this school are chaired by women. Can't get ahead my ass. Anyway, okay, so she stopped there and whatever, she was talking about something else, and then about 10 minutes later, after she got done talking about all this, she says, oh, by the way, I got a promotion, and now I have like 5 or 6 people who are directly underneath me, and it's just like, I raised my hand right away, and I was like, well, hold on. I was like, you said that you can't get ahead and this and that, but now you're telling us that you've got this big promotion, you're all stoked about your corner office that you just got, your brand new office, you got windows all around, and woohoo! And I bet you got a nice salary raise too. I bet you got bumped up the pay scale, didn't you? So, can you have it both ways? Can you be both oppressed and not oppressed at the same time? Can it be that women can get ahead in our society? Could it possibly be that the patriarchy, quotes, I'm air quoting right now, you can't see it, but I am, isn't real? That maybe at one point it was true? That we did live in a patriarchal society, but now we don't? I mean, you take in consideration that women initiate divorce more than men do. Women get custody of children more than men do, even when the men go for it. I mean, let's face it, I'm willing to concede a little bit on that point because men typically, a lot of them typically don't seek custody, so I'm willing to give and take on that point of contention. But let's face it, the instances where men go after custody, they don't get it as much as women do. And that's neither here nor there. I'm not trying to paint men as woe was us, right? Because I believe in a full meritocracy that you get by being good at what you do. And this professor is obviously supposedly good at what she does, so she got promoted and she's got people under her. But you can't live in a society where it's impossible to get ahead if you're a member of one group, but then 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, tell us how you just got this promotion and got ahead in life and this and that. And another quick story. Another one of my professors, who I've had her for several classes, once again, she's nice enough, nice enough, man. But she's talking about how the wage gap is this real thing. And when she was going for her PhD, the person, the teacher who was overseeing her dissertation and all this other stuff, she ended up marrying. Okay, so this is a professor, her husband is a professor who, if he's overseeing graduate students, he's got many, many years of experience, right? She uses that false analogy as a lesson in the wage gap. She talks about how he quit at the university, and she was just getting into the profession, right? This university that she's working at now is one of the first institutions she's worked at, while her husband, who is, a fair bit older and obviously has more experience in the teaching profession, she uses this false analogy about how they got hired at the same time, but they're getting paid different. Well, paid different? Of course you're getting paid different. You're just an associate professor, right? He's got probably a decade or more of experience under his belt. I mean, talk about putting your finger on the scale and then trying to fucking pass it off as something that it's not. I mean, come on. What is this world coming to? Where people can't even step back for a second and see things as they really are. To investigate, well, is there actual oppression going on here or is there not? Because in both of those two instances, those professors are trying to paint a picture of, oh, life is hard for us women, but, I mean, come on. There's underlying things there. One of them gets a promotion, and the other one is not as qualified as her male counterpart, her husband. I mean, do you think that those two people should get paid the exact same amount? Christ, if that was the case, I'd be pissed if I was him. to have a decade or more of experience? To be overseeing students going for their master's degree? Thinking that an associate professor, somebody who's brand new, fresh off the boat, so to speak, I suppose that makes me racist to use that phrase, but anyway, I don't understand what's going on. What has happened? What has happened, guys? End rant right here, because I'm going to lose my shit.
God was never on your side. Never on your side.